What's up, lads? This is a Couch Pundits podcast. We're going to do our Champions League review for the first leg of the second round of matches of the quarter-final. So in today's game, it was Porto versus Chelsea and Bayern versus PSG. What did you think of the Porto versus Chelsea game?
Oh, well, as a Chelsea fan, obviously, I was definitely happy with that as a result. The whole way through, I actually did think, as much as I hate to admit it, I did think Porto actually had they played better and they had more. Well, they didn't have more of the ball. Chelsea had 50%, 57% possession, but felt like felt like Porto were much more dangerous. But at the same time, Chelsea did have better chances. Like Pulisic rattles the bar before Chilwell scores that second. But I think Chelsea did deserve to win. Porto did seem dangerous, but they never created any clear-cut chances, whereas Azpilicueta literally just missed the header from about 2 yards out that he has to be scoring off the Reece James free kick. And then Chelsea took their chances really well. Obviously, the first one with Mount, Porto, that back line from Porto, it's so important when Porto are kind of going with that low block. If they don't, if one player kind of makes a mistake, like I think it was Mbemba, I'm not sure. I think it was Mbemba who steps out for that
it wasn't.
Mount goal.
It was Musiala or something like that.
Oh, but anyway,
Oh, he used
whoever.
to fell off Bayern. I can't remember your man's name, but it wasn't Mbemba.
Yeah. Well, the defender for Porto steps out, gives Mount that kind of like half bit of space. Like he turns him and then it's a goal. Like he's through on goal. Like Porto don't give up chances. So when they do something like that, they were always going to struggle because their kind of game is sit back, hopefully get kind of a counter attack and score, and then they can sit back even more. They're like kind of like Atletico Madrid. Like they're a real kind of gritty team. They're difficult to play against. Like they're nasty. Like even the strikers like Marega, like he's never like given the referee a break. They are so like Atletico Madrid in that way. Like they remind me of that first Simeone team, like of 2014 where they got to that final. And but no, I do think Chelsea were much better. They just had those kind of final moments of quality. Like Pulisic was so unlucky, but to hit the crossbar, like he literally rattled the bar. And then the composure from Chilwell, like it was unlucky for that right back to make the mistake. But Chilwell did so well. Like I didn't think Chilwell was going to score when he was going through. Like I was thinking he's going to try chip the keeper and make a mess of it. But the fact that he had the composure to round the goalkeeper as a left back, I was really impressed by. And like I think I'm just so happy with that kind of performance overall. I know it seems so weird, but because both games are in the Sevilla Stadium, but I'm so glad that was the away leg for Chelsea and that's 2 away goals counted now. So Porto are going to kind of have to come out of the blocks in the second game. I think that second goal was so crucial, like because at the end of the day, like it's an away goal for Chelsea, but if they don't get that second, Porto can score in the first 5 minutes, and then that's your whole first leg totally eradicated. Then so that was a huge goal, and I'm delighted with the result overall. Definitely not over, but I'm happy with that result.
Yeah, the goals were brilliant. Like both of them, in my opinion. Like the first touch from Mount was just top class. Like I think he's so underrated in that regard that like if someone else did that, like if Messi took a touch like that and buries with his right foot into the bottom corner, like people are talking about it for until the next leg at least. Like it's a global thing, you know. If Mbappe does it, it's like, oh my god, this fella's a revolutionary talent. Now he is, but I'm just saying, like Mount, like this won't go any further than like tomorrow. Like they'll be like, oh, Mount scored a great goal. That's the end of that conversation. On to the next. And I just want to give that credit really. Like it was unbelievable. Like, you know, yeah, the Porto player steps out, but the fact that he took the touch around the corner and then just buried it, like top class.
No, I'm definitely not taking anything away from Mount. Like he was unbelievable there. Like, and as you said, like, that was such quick thinking, and like it was a moment of like pure brilliance, like that you don't get from a lot of players. And like I know, like I sound like a broken record here, but at the same time, like Mount is just not given the respect. Like he like when you compare him to, if you were to compare him to Grealish, it's almost laughed at. Whereas Mount produces moments like that, and this is the top level he's doing it as well. Like I don't know, you can say Porto or whatever, but every week in the Premier League he produces. Like maybe he doesn't have the numbers that like a Bruno or a KDB has. I'm not comparing him to those kind of players because they are the top players. but he's such a top player, and he's not given the respect. Like I know I'm always saying that, but just show it again tonight. Like, and the rest of the game as well. Like the way he presses, he literally leads the press for Chelsea, and like even when you compare him to someone like Havertz, who's bought for serious money, like if Havertz is 72 million, like what is Mount worth?
Yeah, yeah, you'd imagine it would definitely be over 50 at the moment, and anyways, and that's just only going to go up. What do you think? So I'll just say, like, Chilwell's goal was class. It was some amount of composure just around the keeper and, put it away, and it was pretty class. But what my point is going to be here is, what did you think of the penalty shout on Marega when Aspa allegedly pushes him?
I was honestly so nervous. Like
Did you
my
upset the
instant
socks?
reaction was, that is the dive. Yeah, exactly. My instant reaction was that, that's not a penalty. But then, because like Marega was constantly diving, and like he was just being such a nuisance for the defenders and for the referee. But then when I watched it back, I was like, oh, that is like it. Like you're, as I know, I understand. Like people are gonna say that's soft, and I thought it was so soft as well. If that had been given, but I think if VAR goes back and checks that, it is a penalty. And the fact that, as much as I don't think it is a penalty, if as Billy Credit, you have to say you're giving the referee a chance. The referee can look at that because you have your hands on his back and you do give a little bit of a shove. You're giving the ref a chance, and that's why I always say it's not even about is that a penalty, is it not? Because that's always, if you're giving the referee a chance to give a penalty, that's a bad thing. And I think Chelsea, as much as I don't think it was a penalty, it would have been so soft. I do think Chelsea got away with one there.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think, when you put your hands on a player's back, give them that little bit of a shove, you're giving the referee the chance to make the call against you. And once you give a referee a chance to make a call against you, you kind of deserve to concede a penalty because you've made the stupid mistake of being sloppy, really, because that's what he was. He got on the wrong side of him and gave him a little shove, and yeah, Marega goes down soft. But like every other striker in world football is going down once they feel someone's hands on their back in the box. Like,
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying as well. Like the fact that if that goes to VAR, I don't know. There's a few things that I thought would have been checked by VAR but weren't. But I
yeah,
think that was one of the ones where I thought if that was checked by VAR, like anything that's checked by VAR is over kind of exaggerated. So that definitely would have been a penalty.
yeah, I fully agree with you. I going to the next leg for Porto against Chelsea. So obviously Chelsea were away, so two away goals is top class from them. But like, I think with Oliveira back, and if Corona has a bit of, I didn't think he was too bad today, but if he has a better game, and
Is
with
Taremi back for the next game?
yeah,
They arranged.
yeah, he got 2 yellows, so he'll be back as well up front. I think like there's still a chance there. You only have to go 2-0, and then you think like, oh, but they're away. Like they're not away. Like they're just in Sevilla. It's not that bad. It's the exact same place where they play today.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Yeah, no,
definitely not end
I
line.
definitely would be a bit nervous, but I think it's definitely not impossible for Chelsea to kind of go on and it's not impossible for Porto to come out and win 2-0 as well. Like I think they did look dangerous, but they didn't create any big chances. Like I know that sounds kind of contradictory, but there was times where I thought, oh, they're dominating the ball here. They're in the final third constantly, but they never really set that chance up where it was like a great chance to score, or you thought, oh, Chelsea got away with one big time. Like maybe once maybe, but I think for the majority of it, Chelsea were, even though they were sometimes dominated, they did have the ball more than Porto, and they did create far better chances, even though they didn't create much. But no, I still think I'm comfortable enough to say I do think Chelsea will get through, because I don't think they won't. I don't think they won't score. So I think they will
Yeah,
score.
yeah, I
They
understand what
could
you're
have
saying.
just that easier. And
Um,
then Porto will have to score 3.
yeah. I mean, look, the tie is still there. It's still exciting. I'm happy as a neutral in that regard that it's still going. So that game will be next Tuesday night. The other one tonight was Bayern versus PSG in Munich. It ended 3-2 to PSG. What did you think of that? You know?
Yeah, that was a great game. Like obviously, I didn't watch the full thing. I was kind of switching in and out between
Yeah,
that and
me
the
too.
Chelsea game. I was good to miss that one because obviously I'm always going to watch my team. But no, there were some great goals. Like I think in like these kind of matches, Bayern, PSG, in the Champions League, it sounds great on paper. You always go, oh yeah, I think that'll be a 3-2 or a 4-3, but it always ends up being boring. This was a genuinely great game. It was really interesting to see PSG go 2-0 up. I was really happy about that because obviously PSG have two away goals. Then it makes Bayern come out and have to play. Bayern did dominate the game. Like PSG were sitting really deep for parts of the game. They didn't create many chances, but Bayern's defense just letting them down. I even though I felt like that last year, but obviously, like if you look at it, they beat Barca 8-2, they beat Lyon 3-0, and then they beat PSG 1-0 in the final. It looks so comfortable when you say it like that, but at the end of the day, a lot of them teams had chances. Barca should have been 2 or 3-0 up before any goals went in that game, and then Lyon had 2 or 3 chances, big chances as well. I think Bayern have always been a bit suspect defensively, but maybe it hasn't been shown yet. But today it was really unacceptable to be honest. Like they were just caught like on the break so easily. Like Mbappe, obviously great. He had a great game. Neymar was unbelievable as well. 2 assists for him. Like the first one he picks out perfectly. Like I know it seems simple, a simple pass, but those moments, like how many times do you see a player go through and he doesn't get the weight right or doesn't pick the right pass? But Neymar said it perfectly for Mbappe. Neuer has to be doing better, but at the same time, fair play to Mbappe. Then Marquinhos' goal. This is just typical. Like this is just like exactly what I'm talking about in terms of Bayern's defense. Like honestly, like if you saw that in Sunday League, you'd be going mad. Like the only player who's actually thinking is Marquinhos. Neymar plays a great ball. He's not just whipping the ball back in. He knows exactly who he's going for. Marquinhos is the only person making the run that way. Bayern's defense are trying to play offside. It's just basic again. Like honestly, it was just I couldn't believe it was onside. It looked so offside. But when you go back, it's just so poor from Bayern. Choupo-Moting scores, then gets them back in the game. A good header. Bayern created 31 opportunities in this game. 31 opportunities. Like then you saw for Muller's goal. I think it was Kimmich. I think it was got this
Yeah,
assist
it
and free
was.
kick. That was PSG. I don't know who was marking him, but Muller lost his marker in the box. Probably you could say it's poor defending from PSG. Like I'm not saying they're not exactly special at the back either. Ratty was out as well due to COVID. Um, but no, it was definitely. I think then Mbappe scored again. Obviously, great goal by him. Like he just has that bit of class that like 99.9% of other players have. Like that. Like it's hard to even explain what it is, but like for his third goal, that split second where he just pauses and thinks different to what anyone else would think. Like I think any player in the world, bar maybe Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, one or two others, is going far corner there. But Mbappe has that pause, that split second, and goes far corner, and the keeper's never getting there. He never expects it. He's
You mean
just
near
so
corner?
unbelievable. Oh, sorry, near corner. Sorry. Yeah, no, unbelievable. Like, and I have a stat here. Mbappe has 13 knockout goals in the Champions League. Thierry Henry has 12, and Benzema has 18, and Benzema is the fifth highest of all time. So that's unbelievable considering he's only 22. And Mbappe now in the Champions League has played 34 games, has 20 goals and 16 assists. So 36 contributions in 34 games at the highest level of football. Unbelievable.
That's insane. Yeah, I think you made a good point about Bayern Munich's defense. It kind of reminds me of Liverpool's defense. With that, like they're like so stubborn with playing this like offside trap high line, and like as a Liverpool fan, especially for those like free kicks in your own half but nowhere near the box, like those ones that are kind of tucked away in the corner, like and you see them and you see Liverpool playing this mad high line. I just it gives me nerves that like nothing else gives me in life, and I feel the same with like Bayern Munich with this. Like it was the same last year, as you said. Like they were so stubborn with playing this mad high line, like in the Champions League when it was like a World Cup last year. It was a nice little tournament at the end of the season, but they were so stubborn with it, and it cost them today. Like especially that Marquinhos goal. Obviously, first goal, right? It was a nice little layoff from Neymar, decent strike from Mbappe, but like realistically, like Neuer has to be saving that. Like it's near post, nice. It was just nice for him, like, you know, and it's just not good enough to let those types of goals in as a world class goalkeeper that he is. Like, but you'll take it, right? Makes a mistake, you know. You can't. Everyone makes mistakes. The next one, like, you could say, oh, everyone makes mistakes, just like what I just said there. But you can't have everyone at the same time making the exact same mistake.
Yeah.
And it's a proper nice ball, and like, you know, witty run from Marquinhos, but like, you just can't be stepping up like that. Like, it's just it not against PSG, and it's not like Marquinhos scores, and he's not someone who's mad pacey, but like, you just can't be playing this dangerous game against PSG where they have Mbappe and Neymar running in behind you, and it just costs them. Like, it troubles me to think about it every time when Liverpool do it, and I'm like last night. It's the same with Munich tonight, really. You think, like, why do you do that? Like, what's the whole plan here? Obviously, Munich then come back. Choupo-Moting goes from Monday night in Stoke to Wednesday night in Munich,
Yeah.
and pulls up a decent goal, like, all the same, like, nice finish, you know. Then the nice cross in the box from Kimmich, you know, and it's just a typical Muller goal, really, like, isn't it? Heads it into the ground,
Yeah.
into the far corner. Like, it's just typical. Like, that's the reason why Muller has so many goal contributions in his career, because he just does this consistently of, like, it just reminds me of 2010 World Cup Muller, where it was just like, that's just what he did every game.
Muller
Like,
has the fourth highest goal contributions. Sorry, the fourth highest goals in UCL knockout history. Only Ronaldo, Messi, and Lewandowski have more.
that's mental. Like, and he's also a player who's mad underrated, you know, up there, like Mason. Well, obviously he's been doing it for many years, unlike Mason Mount, but he is massively underrated. And by me, like, I'm not saying that like I'm anyone special. Like, I definitely underrate him. But then, as you said, like, that third goal for PSG, one, it's dreadful defending. Just one simple counter attack, and Munich are all over the place. Like, then, you know, Mbappe squares up his man and just makes it look so easy. Like, but I'd imagine when you're playing against the likes of Mbappe, Neymar, Salah, all these players that like kind of squaring up, you know, you see it with Salah in the Premier League, and the same with like what Mbappe did. They like stand in front of their man for a second, and then they do something. They don't just like do it. You know, you see it with like Messi, Ronaldo, all the top players. And then Mbappe does it there, where he like squares up his man, looks him up and down, and then just produces brilliance, like top class stuff from Mbappe, and that's the decider in these types of big games between big teams. Like, that one bit of unbelievable ability that just takes away from the opposition.
Yeah, no, as you said there, like, it's just about like them kind of big moments at this stage. Like, 3 away goals is huge for PSG, and as you were saying there, you kind of alluded to it there. Like, the high line for Bayern Munich, like, I know a lot of people will say, well, you can't slate the high line when, let's say, like Bayern score so many goals due to the way they play with their high line. It's the same with Liverpool. It's going to cost you 1, but it'll score you 10. I understand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, do you need it that high against PSG? Like, we have Neymar and Mbappe. Like, you're not playing a team in the Bundesliga, or even like, never mind, even if it was like a team like it's just PSG. Like, Mbappe is probably one of the fastest players in the world, and they got caught out like here. 3 away goals is massive. Yeah, no, like, Bayern did have 60% of the ball. They did dominate possession, but no, it was a strange one. Like, I definitely didn't expect Bayern to concede 3 goals at home. Like, it does make the tie kind of juicy now. It is Hansi Flick's first ever Champions League loss, which is crazy to think. Obviously he won it last year as his first year in charge, unbeaten so far this season, and yeah, no, takes his first loss. Yeah, no, it was massive. Like, and again, I just want to kind of touch on Neymar. Like, Mbappe is always the easiest one to go for. Like, he's kind of, I don't know, I think it's like the fact that he's also kind of more likable. I think a lot of people dislike Neymar with his kind of diving antics or whatever, but you have to give it to him. Like, he does deliver. He just delivers. Like,
Yeah.
I know you're gonna say, oh, if like, I think he's the kind of player where, like, if he scores 100 goals a season, you say, yeah, well, they paid 200 million for him. He has to do that. But 2 assists tonight in a huge game against the champions. This is the kind of thing where people go, oh, PSG bottle it now, but like, they're not really bottling it. Like, they got to a final last season. they're on course. I don't think they definitely will, but I would probably back them to go through now. I could see a score draw in Paris, and I could see PSG going through. What do you think?
Yeah, like Lewandowski's definitely out, isn't he, for the next leg?
Yeah, he's not. He's not back for the second leg.
Yeah, you know, if he was there, you're saying like he's a player who the ball drops in the box like 9 times out of 10, he's finishing it. Yeah, and I think you're right there. A score draw, and you know, PSG go through and face more than likely Man City, but at the same time, even in that match, it's a bit weird. I like the way this quarterfinals, you know, like the biggest kind of deficit would be obviously Porto to Chelsea and Liverpool to Real Madrid, but all the games are still there. Like there's no like runaway 4-0 winner or something like that, or something insane. Like it's all still there. It's something to look forward to next week, and you know you can actually watch them as a neutral or as a fan and actually enjoy it.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about Champions League sometimes. Like sometimes you get into a round, like after the first round of a quarterfinals, the first legs, you might have three of them that are done, you know. But this time, you definitely feel like none of the games are done. Like you'd say the Chelsea one is more like Chelsea is the most likely team to go through of any of them, or Real Madrid. But even then, Liverpool back at Anfield, regardless of the fans or the form, it's Liverpool at Anfield in Europe. Like they have every chance of going through. I'm not saying I'd back them, but they do have a chance. Porto have shown that they can knock out teams like that. They knocked out Ronaldo Juventus last time. And then obviously City Dortmund is nowhere near over. Only City are only leading by a goal, and Dortmund have an away goal. Obviously, if you were to pick the most likely teams at this stage, you'd say Chelsea and Real Madrid in the semis, and City PSG in the other semis. But I'd be shocked if there wasn't at least one upset in the quarterfinals. So if I was to ask you, who you reckon that upset will be, if you think there will be one, who would you say? Put your neck on the line.
Bayern.
Bayern, yeah. No, that's
PSG just
fair
aren't
enough.
convincing enough for me. Like,
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I honestly think it would be nice to see PSG, Man City, Real Madrid, and Chelsea, because I definitely don't think I imagined Real Madrid or Chelsea in the Champions League final. And as much as you do
yeah,
think PSG and Man City are the two top teams in Europe, along with Bayern, like you do kind of think, oh, the fact they haven't won it before or whatever. So it would be nice to see one of them four teams actually win the competition, because
yeah,
it's something different. Like I feel like it always seems like someone who you kind of expect every year, you know.
yeah. I really don't want to see Real Madrid win it. You know, they've won it 13 times. The first 5 times or 6 times that they won it just shouldn't be counted. It was like them against like Plymouth or something like that in the final. Like
Yeah,
it just shouldn't count. But um, no, I think more than likely biggest the upset is going to be Bayern. I don't think PSG are not that they're sorry. I don't think that they're not capable of holding on to a lead, but I think they're the least capable of holding on to their lead.
yeah. So if you had to give me your final four, who are you saying?
But off that, I'll go Munich versus City, Chelsea versus Real Madrid. I obviously want Liverpool in there, but look, I'm not jinxing it,
Yeah,
so no, I'm only messing. I don't want to. I genuinely don't think it's going to happen. I think look, they're too weak at the back, and it was found out badly. Now I think they have a week to think about it. I think they will come out firing. I think they could win, but just not enough.
yeah. I think I'm just gonna go. I definitely don't think it will be this, but I can't predict who's gonna be the shock. I think there's always a shock, but I think at this moment I'd probably just go PSG, City, um, yeah, PSG, City, Real Madrid, Chelsea.
That's fair enough.
But I'd be shocked if that's the way it is. There's always one shock in the quarterfinals. There's always one shock semi-finalist.
Yeah, dead right. Yeah, so that's it. That's it. We're done. If you're listening to this on Spotify, go ahead, go to YouTube, press subscribe. Really helps us. You know, give it a like, give it a comment, all that good stuff. If you're on YouTube, maybe go check out Spotify, check what we've put out in the past. And yeah, cheers, lads.